Brother, what are you doing?
We are burning the books of the heretics.
But brother, there is much truth in it.
The peasants cannot understand the truth.
Mein Captain, what are you doing?
I am burning the book, Herr Private.
But mein Captain, what about the truth?
The population cannot be trusted with the truth.
What are you doing?
I'm deleting the anti-vaccine groups.
They're right, the science isn't settled yet.
The truth in the wrong hands can be dangerous.
Hello, it's Paul at Instant Chiro, and today we're talking about... I had committed a crime that required that I give up my name, address and phone number, as well as a government photo ID to a monitoring company. I also had to provide two-factor authentication so that the monitoring company would know when I was online and where. Whether it was talking to my friends or doing business, they needed to know. This monitoring company is responsible for what 50% of the adult population see. This monitoring company is called Facebook, and my crime was a 3-second joke about a left-wing politician during a podcast about installing CCTV cameras in chiropractic clinics. And now I had to submit to them or give up on my podcast ever making it out to the general public. It did make it out in the end onto YouTube. The link would be included below, but it's included at the end because censorship works. Be cautious when you look at it, because you never know, my thoughts may corrupt you. So we're going to examine censorship as it relates to you today and how it can control your brain, and it does control your brain all the time. We can get a definition of censorship from Wikipedia, which is ironic because Wikipedia has been known to censor alternative health websites. Censorship is a suppression of speech, public communication or other information on the basis that such material is considered objectionable, harmful, sensitive or inconvenient. Whenever we think of censorship, we think of governments. Many different types of government censorship, and we're going to talk about a couple right now. We've got direct censorship, where it forbids you from saying certain things and punishes you if you do. You've got indirect censorship, which is restricting information, which is far more common right now. Pressuring companies, pressuring individuals, and promoting propaganda. And ignoring the will of the people, which we see in things like Brexit and Oregon. Now, we're going to talk about some controversial subjects right here, and that's okay, we're all adults. Just because I'm talking about them doesn't mean that I support them. And even if I did, that's okay, free speech is allowed. We don't want to be any hate speech or anything here. So we're going to talk about the things that are being suppressed right now, whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. What does matter is your ability to decide, to your ability to understand what is happening in the world. Truth is usually found on the middle ground. That's where one side gives one part of the story and the other side gives the other part of the story, and the truth is usually found in the middle. What's happening now though with companies, governments and institutions is they're denying the other half of the story, so you cannot find the middle ground. So I'm at the Oregon Capitol where censorship's taking a new form. Now, people have voted on various bills here that have then been rejected by the public, and as of course it should be dismissed. But what the governor's done here is just called it an emergency and passed the law anyway. Now, with government we have some recourse, even though this is obviously questionable. We have some recourse in elections and various other things that happen every year. But with private companies, we don't even have that. We can't vote out the head of Facebook. We can't vote out the head of Google. And so censorship's working. And not just in government like in Oregon, but it's working in your very phone. So let's talk about this censorship that's happening in your life right now. Because I'm guessing you all watch YouTube. Admittedly, I have 6 kids, so it's like Peppa Pig and all that sort of stuff. But what you may have noticed that some of your channels that you watch on YouTube are saying that they're being demonetized. And what that actually is economic censorship. YouTube has decided to allow you to see what it wants you to see and have thoughts that it thinks is your correct thoughts, and not allow to challenge it in any way. And to do that, they've taken away the money that these channels were generating from ad revenue on their platform. And whether you agree with, it's usually gun channels or alternative health channels, all these different channels, if you agree with them or not, that's not a problem, but you shouldn't allow YouTube to decide what you are allowed to see and think. That's not what its job is. You are an adult. You are allowed to choose and decide. Big channels like Demolition Ranch, which are a family channel of multiple spin-offs and are watched more by people that aren't interested in guns than are interested in guns, have been demonetized. And what does that mean? It means that they are not going to get rewarded for the effort they put in, and therefore won't produce that content. And that just means that YouTube's deciding for you what you're allowed to see. And that's not cool. And Facebook's the same. The amount of times I do an episode like this one and it won't get out there because Facebook decides my thoughts are too dangerous. Again, we're letting a company decide what we should think, and we need to stand up against that. And if we don't think that Facebook is censoring us, we only have to look at what Mark Zuckerberg said to the House Financial Services Committee on October 23rd of this year, 2019. He was questioned by Florida Congressman Bill Posey, and this is reported in Vaccine Impact, but you can get it online in many different areas. This actually happened, it's there. He's questioned about people being able to choose. It says, "Congressman, I do want people to choose," in brackets, and that's why we don't stop people from posting on their page something that's wrong. But if someone wants to post vaccine or anti-vaccine content, or if they want to join a group where people are discussing that content, we don't prevent them from doing that. But what we do is we do go out of our way to make sure that our group recommendation systems try to show people or encourage people to join those groups. We discourage that. Well, how are you discouraging it? Congressman Posey posed. Well, there are a number of different tactics. For example, if someone is typing into the search results, into the search box, something that might lead to anti-vax content, we don't recommend anti-vax searches to them. If you type in the name of a group exactly, you can get that group. We're not going to hide it or prevent you from joining it, but we're not going to recommend or go out of our way to show people content that would encourage people to join these groups. Therefore, if you are searching for anti-vaccine groups, for instance, you will not find them unless you know their exact spelling. But if you're searching for pro-vaccine groups, then you will find this information without the exact spelling. Again, we're being denied the two sides of the coin, and we won't be able to find the middle ground because Facebook, the head of Facebook, has decided that you cannot make that decision for yourself. So Facebook is stretching its power way too far, and at the moment, for instance, every time you look up certain information, it'll put counter information at the bottom there. But when that counter information is the main post, it doesn't put the other information below it. So it's forcing you to have that one side again, not the whole view, which allows you to find the truth, which is usually the middle ground. Google's previous motto of "do no evil" has recently changed to "do the right thing" because it was getting too close to home. They're talking about removing anti-vaccine information at the browser level, so you can't even find it if you look for it. That might be doing the right thing in their eyes, but it's definitely doing something that's evil. And that is taking away your ability to choose. Are you an adult? Have you got mental capacity? Are you able to direct free will? Yes. And that's what it all comes down to. It comes down to letting us decide. We are adults, so let us decide. We're human beings, so let us decide. We are free, so let us decide. So, what do we do? How do we avoid censorship? And can we avoid censorship? Because our lives are played out on social media. We use Google to search information that we want to find out, and yet Google's telling us it's going to restrict information to us at the browser level, meaning you won't even get to see it. What about when we want to connect with our family and friends and keep in touch? We use Facebook or Messenger, and that's being restricted too. Just check out how many episodes of mine have been restricted and censored. And I'm not even a bad person. Well, at least I don't think I am. And then to relax, we go on YouTube to watch all the content. And we're watching more videos on YouTube than we're watching TV right now, especially if you're younger. but YouTube's deciding what you get to see. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but maybe I should be, because they appear to have got it all figured out. All your channels of information are being restricted. So what can you do? And so I have a 4-point plan to combating this censorship. One is, use DuckDuckGo.com for your web searches. It trusts you enough to be your own adult and filter through things. Number 2, tell Facebook, Google, YouTube that you don't want your information censored. Educate yourselves on censorship and on the issues that they're trying to keep you away from, because you are intelligent enough. And 4, maybe it's time to look for a new social media, because all these regimes that try and restrict information, whether it was religion, governments, all these different regimes, they all fell. And they fell because you have power. Humans cannot be suppressed. Eventually we understand what's happening and we fight back. So let's fight back now. Let's change from Google to DuckDuckGo. Let's change from Facebook to the other alternatives I've put below. Let's change from YouTube to the other ones below. And of course, let's share this information. Let's share this video all around, whether a chiropractor or not. Let's share it and get people informed about these things, and share other videos like it and find out what it is. We don't want to be these passive people that disappear into oblivion because somebody else decided for us and we couldn't be bothered to switch off a channel and have a think for ourselves. But anyway, that's my rant for today, and I only have one rant a month. So we're back next week with a product review of anterior thoracic adjusting tool, which is absolutely awesome, and some more silliness. And remember, I love you all above, down and inside out, and don't get lied to, and be your own adult. Alright guys, see you later.